Alright, what's up y'all? So by the title you can probably tell that we're making saddles today. So this is an extremely inexpensive way of doing it comparatively to going to buy one. The reason why I didn't originally get into saddle hunting was because, you know, just the price wise it's insane. You know, it's like 300, 400 bucks for some rope and some cloth. So my brother is making them. He's made them. So actually he has one on now, but I'll show you in a second. But he's gonna teach you guys how to make one, and at the end of the video, if you say, you know what, maybe that's a little bit too much work, then you can always just buy one from him because he's making them. So anyway, stay tuned, we're about to get started.
Alright, what is up everybody? This is what we're building today. It looks like a bunch of ropes and cloth, but basically, I'll just send Wyatt a couple photos of me sitting in it to show you what it is, kind of. But it's another way of sitting in a tree stand or sitting in a tree for hunting. That's a lot more easy to pack out. You can put it all in your backpack or wear around your waist as I am. It's just a lot more simple. So overall, you have like all your stuff attached here with simple sliders. That's my back brace for back support, and I just put it right back on when I'm not using it and simply tighten it back down. So it's a simple way. Basically, all you're going to need is a sewing machine, which not everyone has. What I did, you can always go home, steal it from your mom. But so I went and got the sewing machine, and then all you need is some cloth material of really any sort. This is just basic. Yeah, this is a better view of it. I went to Joann's Fabric and just picked out anything. If you'd like to see exactly, I don't know, that's what this says, but it's just a simple camo designed exclusively for Joann. It's just a Joann fabric. I think it's just a regular cloth fabric. So you need a little bit of fabric and then some straps. You can go with either size, either was fine, but you will need the 1 inch. You must have that. If you want to use a thicker strap that maybe is better for support, that's what I used on this one. And then some paracord for the paracord sliders, which I'll also show you how to make. And yeah, and a couple of little buckles, 3. So one for your belt, so you don't have to hold it up or put it on when you get to the tree. And then 2 for your legs, so that you can cinch them down. It won't swing at all, and also just so it's a little bit tighter and you're not getting snagged on everything while you walk through the woods.
And I got that buckle from like an old backpack, so you don't have to buy them, but you can do this for as cheaply as you want to do it.
So the first step of creating a saddle is, 1 second, you can get out of mine, is cutting out your butt size, basically. So what you want is this top strap, this main strap that's gonna be going around the top of it, to be right up above where your waistline is, and then your bottom strap, the one that goes around more of your butt, to be right underneath where your butt cheek basically is. And you can make them so that they're slightly curved at the bottom, like that. You don't have to. The one I have already cut out that I'm actually making for John is just rectangle, because it'll still support all the way around when it's tightened out. So
what's the total cost of like making it yourself?
Not including climbing rope and carabiners.
So you could technically you could just use paracord, right?
You could.
So
you could just use paracord.
I think this thing of paracord that's 100 feet. I think it was like $8.
You will need slightly thicker rope as well than paracord, but you can mainly use paracord just for some customizations that I'll show you as we get deeper into the build. But it just makes it better for comfort. It makes everything more adjustable if you have 2 different diameters of rope. So it doesn't have to be climber's rope. I use it just because safety. And did
you say the price?
So overall, without climbing rope, you could do this whole setup for about $20, $25, just depending on how much you shop around, and not including the sewing machine as well. So,
all right, cool. All right, let's get it going.
Yeah, so once you got your piece cut out, first thing you're gonna do is just flip over the edges and just sew those down. It just eliminates any fraying.
So this was undone. And then now you just flipped it over. Is there a certain amount you wanted to? How big's the piece? Would you say for for me? Like I'm a big guy. How big was it?
So I measured you around 24 inches up top. I didn't actually measure you. I just measured myself and then added about 2 inches. So 24 inches up here. You want it to stop the actual. You want the actual fabric to stop right even with your hip, because then the loops will come out past your hip and it'll not put any pressure, that like squeezing pressure onto your hips. So it takes everything onto your butt and onto your back. So once you got that and you sew down the edges, all you do is just fold over the edges and sew them down just so it doesn't fray. Once you do that, this is just the back strap. We'll get into that later. You're gonna take your strap that you're using for actually going around your body, and this will be what hooks you into the tree and lets you lean. You're gonna want to take that and you want to do it on the outside of the fabric, so the pressure isn't as much onto the fabric as it is the straps.
Now, where could you buy one of those if you don't have one?
Honestly, what I did was I just used a bunch of old harnesses, like safety harnesses, and cut them up
and then you sewed
them together. Now you can just go to Joanne sells this exact strap as well for I think $2 a yard, and you only need about 2 to 2.5 yards if you were buying it from Joann's.
Gotcha.
So once you do that, you just lay out where you would like it. You want to go up top and then evenly down, and try to get these sorry, it's hard to do without clips, but try to get these loops on the end as equal in length. Once that is, again, you're doing it on the outside of the fabric, not the fabric on the outside of the strap. So once that's done, basically you just sew that up, and then yeah, once I get it sewed, well, I'm sure Wyatt will do some clips of me sewing it. We'll go to the next step.
All right.
So now that I got the straps evened out, I clipped one side in. Usually if you have more clips, you can also use paper clips and just put them down to make sure that your rope stays in the correct length, I guess, so that your straps on the outside will be even, so that you're not leaning, getting pulled one way or the other. And once I do that, I just pick up from anywhere in the middle, make sure this is flat, pinch it down so it can't move, and go right over to the sewing machine and just get something sewed on so that the strap is in place.
Gotcha. Okay, so guys, he just turned that, so he just did the long edge of it, and then now he's just sewing.
You got to make sure that because this is the outside loop is where all your the pressure is going to be on the actual saddle. That's where the rope's going to connect to the tree. You have to make sure that this line along the edge, where the strap meets the actual cloth, is super strong. So go over it 5 or 6 times at least. Alright, just flipping it over and doing the same thing on the other side. I haven't sewn all the strap down yet. I'm just making sure that this strap will be in place so that I can start working on little bits and pieces of it without having to worry about the strap moving.
Gotcha.
So now that I've gotten the black sewed, that's just a little excess string you can cut off. I sew on both top and bottom, not just the top, so that the strap is completely sewed down. You can see it slightly better here, where you can see both the sew marks on the top and the bottom of the strap, as you can see. So now basically your saddle is technically usable, but it wouldn't be very convenient. So that's how it would work, but we're about to do a bunch of modifications to make it just more convenient and a lot more comfortable. Okay, so this is the more firm stuff that's gonna not want to bend as much, and if it does bend, it's all in one kind of place. So you take that, you're gonna need scissors and a lighter. What you're gonna do is just lay it down to length, make sure that this is flattened out. And once you find the length, and this doesn't need to be absolutely perfect length, obviously try to make it perfect, but If it's not perfect, as long as it covers into the straps, you'll be all right. And then basically cut that off. And then here's where the lighter comes into play. If you didn't light this, the end of it would just fray. Can you see that?
Yep.
So basically what it does is it melts it down because it almost has like a wax coat almost to it, or a plastic coat. And then anything that you don't care about plastic getting on, you can kind of just tap it.
The dining room table.
You know, we're in college. So that's one. Do the same thing to the other side, and then you're just gonna do the simple sews across the end here. So do simple sew across the end, up, across, and then basically you're sewing the whole thing down onto the edges. So we'll get that done. When that's done, I'll come back and show you guys exactly what I was meaning by it.
All right, y'all. So this is what he just did. He just put the strap on. As you can see, he went over it multiple times. So, you know, to give it more strength. So anyway, on to the next step.
Okay, so next step, and every step in this process so far has been in order, and you need to do it in this order, or you're gonna find it hard to, or if not impossible to make sews. So the next step is to get 2 pieces of the same material that equal enough to get to the edges of this. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
so these are long enough. So what you'll do with one of them, you'll just put this buckle. It's just a simple regular belt buckle. This will be actually what we use to tighten this around our hips so that we can just walk with it and not have to worry about it falling down or whatever. So you'll take this, just a loop through the middle, and then you're gonna sew this down. So that will be your actual like buckle of the belt. And then this other one is gonna be the part that goes through it. It goes through one side and through the other, and that will make it so that it can't come undone. You can tighten it and loosen it. Now, once you've gotten that kind of figured out, flip your saddle over, and right now it doesn't matter. Either side can be top or bottom. So I'll just pick this side for showing. You'll sew about 2 or 3 inches onto it just for extra support on the top, and the other side on this side so that it will come together and connect like I just showed you with one in, one out, able to tighten and loosen it. So we'll get that done, and then I'll show you the next step.
Oh, and also, if you want to make one of these yourself, all the stuff is going to be linked down in the description below with affiliate links from Amazon, and then
Literally everything.
literally, yeah, every
straps,
single thing.
buckles, paracord.
Yep.
We'll even put the needles we use for sewing, because you do need a heavier needle to get through multiple. Because once these straps start, multiplying, it gets thicker and thicker. So you need a pretty heavy duty sewing needle to get through it all.
Yep. And then at the end, Van does sell these, so yeah, I will link, or I'll have him give.
You can put my phone number in the description. We can you just send me over 2 dimensions, just your measurement of your waist basically, and I'll have it done in a day, and I can ship it out the same day, depending on when you text me and depending on how many orders I have.
So I will give you information or his information, and then information on prices and the different options you have at the end of the video. So stay tuned.
All right, now that the belt has been sewed in, easy to put on. You can do this before you even start walking out to the woods, or you should do this before you start walking out to the woods. All right, so now that this is done, this is the belt that I just sewed on the inside. So this is where the fun begins. You'll take your strap that I told you needed earlier, and you're gonna sew the side down at the very edge as you can, and then you make bumps in it, and so you'll sew right here, and then you'll make another bump, and you'll sew right there, and then you'll do that until the other side, so that you have basically a bunch of loops. And I'll show you on the saddle that I have here. That's mine, it's done. All these loops.
Hold that up like wide so you can see it.
All these loops up top, the ones that I just showed you, that's what's gonna hold your paracord sliders, which holds all your gear. You can put clips on it. You can hold your climbing sticks that you use to get up the tree on it. Basically, this loop is what makes the convenience of the saddle, basically. Without the loop, it's not the most convenient way of hunting. Alright, so just completed, sorry, I still got some green string hanging out, but just completed the loops. And again, that's going to allow you to put your paracord sliders, which I'll show you right after this next step, the last step of the process. And then basically it's done.
So what's next step?
The next step, the last step, you're going to take rope that's going to be long enough to connect to the bottom of the saddle. And then, so it'll be like this. This is going to be your leg loops. And you attach them there. So it can be one piece. What I like to do is take it like this, make sure it's even, and then sew this just like that with just one seam. So I also have an extra loop down here for like your platform and a heavier thing than what you'll be putting up here. So and then you just split your legs underneath and sew them in to the bottom opposite of the belt. So it'll be sewn here and underneath to here. So, and then once that's sewn, you can cut it and add a buckle so you can loosen or tighten. Or if you're doing it yourself, you can just make it just perfect size so you don't need a buckle. All right, so we got the legs sewn in. Like I said, you just make a little loop, sew it down once, because no weight is going to be really on this. This is more just for like tightening stuff down, making sure it's all compact. And then these loops will flow down, and then I attach to the inside right here. So now this saddle's not made for me, so I'm not sure if this is going to fit me. I'll try it. You put your feet in, pull it up, and then you just attach this like your belt. And like I said, if you would like to add an extra buckle right here, like I have on mine over here, this is my leg loops, I just add a buckle like that so I can tighten it down or not.
And then alright, cool.
And then okay, so the last two things I can show you very quickly to complete your saddle. One, you're gonna take this, your actual loop that's gonna connect to all your tree harnesses and stuff, and you're gonna sew it just over so you can see it better on this saddle. So you just sew that loop over
so that it's flat.
So it's flat, so that you can add
doesn't budge up.
a locking system that I'll show you again later. Now this is your back strap. It's the same exact method as your saddle here. So what you'll do is it just goes around your back,
okay,
and it just connects to the same carabiner that this does, so that you can adjust this higher, lower, or however you really like it, as well as this. This can go all the way underneath your butt, all the way up on your back. If you just want to lean, you can just do that. You can do it all. So, and then it also will roll up. Your back strap will, so that you don't have to have two pieces connected to you at all times. And it'll fold in and attach to your paracord here. That's my back strap. This is Wyatt, that's not fully complete yet. So that's how I have my back strap just on there. So I can use it if I want to. I don't have to if I don't want to. Okay, last thing for the paracord sliders. You're gonna need just two pieces of paracord. Make sure you burn the ends and tap them down so that all the inner paracord rope, I guess, I don't know how to explain that, doesn't slip. So what you're gonna do is take your longer piece. You're just gonna do a regular old, this is the ends, like that. And you're just gonna take that around your finger and put this, or you can take the other ends, honestly that's easier. Take either end and just make a simple knot. Like that. So then you have just a loop. Then what you'll do, take your other piece, lay it down any way, which way you want, and this is where it gets slightly tricky.
You're gonna take it
and again, it's over top. You can take the left side first, go underneath. And you take this right side, go underneath this other side you just put under, and then back through that loop. And I'm gonna keep doing this, so, and you just cinch it down. So now that we did that side, you just go opposite. It goes under, and then this goes behind that one, and back through the loop. And you cinch it down. And then you're gonna make a couple of those. I'm gonna do them real quick.
But it turns out like that.
Like that. All right, once you get it all tightened out, you just take and cut your end, and then you just heat it up slightly. Get it real nice and kind of like melted almost. Be careful of your fingers though, because it will burn the living heck out of you. And what I do is take something like this and just kind of smush it down and make it flat so it can't go back through. And then you do that to the same thing on the other side, and then basically you can move this slider up and down, and you'll take it, you can put it on this belt, the loop for the belt you made. Should have just cut the other piece, huh? Alright, you cinch it down, and now that works as a gear holder. You slide it up and down, tighten it, or if you want to tighten it downwards, and slide it down. And that's a cheap way to make a gear holder. You don't need all the pouches you see online for the guys that have their, you know, this and that. This is the cheap way to do it, but it works just as well.
And that's it.
Yeah, basically.
That is it. That's how you do it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
What? Oh, yeah.
That's for the saddle, and then you have to still connect your saddle to your lineman's rope and tether, which you should look up how to saddle hunt. This is just how to make the saddle.
Yep. So, like I said earlier, I will be linking everything in the description. So, like everything you need to make this, I will link it in the description. And then, as far as prices from Van goes, so if they want to get just the bottom, how much is that?
You're gonna just, I would go ahead and shoot me a text. It's gonna be somewhere in between the prices of $60 and $100. And then if you wanted ropes, I just have to look into it for ropes and stuff. Honestly, the best way to go about it is just texting me and go from there.
All right. So, so they could get either just the base bottom, or they could get the whole thing set up.
You can get, I mean, I could sell you this setup right here, which is basically everything but your climbing sticks. And I would have to price this out. I had a lot of this gear already, but yeah, and it's all custom made to you. And yeah, and I can also make adjustable sliders on the brace part, so you can you saw it actually in the beginning clip, so you can adjust where you want pressure basically on everywhere.
All right, and then what number should they contact you at? I will put it in the description as well, but just tell them right now.
407-432-6668.
All right, so I'll put that in the description as well. So if you would like to buy one of these, then you can shoot him a text and send him your info, and he'll give you the prices and everything. And then if you want to build one yourself, it'll be linked down below. So that is how to make a saddle for hunting. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and go ahead and throw subscribe, a like, comment, tell me what you want to see next. So like usual, have a good one, everybody.